Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Wrestling Takes, and today I'm here to discuss John Bradshaw Layfield. Now, he's been appearing here, there, and everywhere this past few weeks. I mean, he's been on TNA, he's been at their pay-per-views, he's been on Monday Night Raw. I wouldn't be surprised if he's on SmackDown tonight. As of recording, this is Friday. Let's see, is he going to make an appearance on SmackDown tonight? I honestly think he might, because he's been everywhere, like I say. And it's really got me thinking, is JBL the best heel we have ever seen in wrestling? Now, hear me out. I know a lot of you are going to be thinking, Randy Orton in 2009, Edge throughout the Ruthless Aggression era, Kane. There's so many names out there. But I'm here to state my case as to why I believe that JBL is the best heel of all time, or at least just talk about it, go through the points, and even just debate it with myself in my own head. But I'd love to hear what you guys have to say in the comments about whether you think JBL is the best heel of all time. But at least hear me out, see why I think he is, or at least is up there, and then come up with a conclusion. I'll come up with my own conclusion at the end, and you guys can come up with your own conclusion in the comments. But enough about the comments, enough bullshit, let's get into the video. Because JBL, like I say, the past sort of 3 months, he's been appearing on TNA out of nowhere, coming out from the crowd and everything, and just hitting everybody with a clothesline from hell, which in my opinion is one of the greatest finishes of all time. Maybe third behind the RKO and the Sweet Chin Music, in my opinion, but it's a devastating finisher, it really is. I mean, you go back and look at some compilations and clips, and some people said it like crazy to do backflips and land on their neck, and it's just a brutal maneuver, no matter how it's sold. I would not want to be on the receiving end of a John Bradshaw Layfield clothesline from hell, I really wouldn't. But yeah, he also appeared this past week on Monday Night Raw alongside Wade Barrett and Michael Cole on commentary, which is really cool. Growing up, JBL, I mean, I grew up watching the WWE in the PG era, and JBL was always on commentary alongside Michael Cole and Jerry the King Lawler, who were more so faces at the time. And JBL, I loved him, honestly. Well, I hated him. I really did hate him, especially in that Authority storyline when it was Authority versus Team Cena. And you got like Scott Armstrong coming out and helping Triple H at Survivor Series and all that going on, and Dolph Ziggler getting 3v1'd, and JBL was loving it. He was telling Dolph to give up and retire and everything. He honestly can get really under your skin, and that is great. Honestly, he's a hateable guy, and also a lovable guy, because if once you realise that wrestling is scripted, which at a young age I didn't, most of us don't, but once you realise, you do come to come to realise, like I say, how good he really is at what he does, and getting under your skin. Because he seems like a nice guy, he really does, in person, in like interviews and stuff. But yeah. And he was the commentator, wasn't he, on Monday Night Raw this week for what match was it? It was the Rey Mysterio match versus Kofi Kingston. And again, great job. I think his heel commentary is second to none. It really is good. But I'm not here to talk about his commentary, really. I'm here to talk about his time as a heel in the ring. And he was formerly known as Bradshaw, wasn't he? I won't get too much into this, because you probably all know it anyway. But his career was okay. Multiple-time tag team champion with the APA alongside Farouk. But upon Farouk's retirement in 2004, he transformed into JBL, John Bradshaw Layfield, and it kind of shocked everyone. He became like a New York stockbroker. He started wearing the hat, coming out in the Longhorn limousine. He eventually had the faction, JBL's Cabinet, with Orlando Jordan and the Basham brothers, who were kind of just his lackeys that ran around and did whatever he wanted them to. And he had a really shocking moment in 2004 at the Great American Bash, where he defeated Eddie Guerrero for the WWE Championship. I don't think anybody would have called that. Eddie was one of the most popular stars at the time. He'd just beaten Brock Lesnar at New Year's Revolution, I think it was, for the title, and he defended it against Kurt Angle at WrestleMania 20. But yeah, JBL did kind of spoil that party at the Great American Bash when he became the champion. He defended it against some top stars. I mean, I'm talking Booker T, Eddie Guerrero in a rematch, The Undertaker. He defeated some of the best. And to shine as a top heel at the time, when there was so many stars in the company, it really just does show you how good JBL was. I mean, if you look at that roster from kind of like 2004 up until 2009 when he retired, you've got Batista, Rey Mysterio, John Cena, Edge, Randy Orton, Triple H, Shawn Michaels, Undertaker, Kane. I mean, the list just goes on. And the fact that he held multiple titles in that time period, including the United States title in 2007, the IC title in 2009 just before his retirement, and the world title in 2004, going into WrestleMania 21 in 2005, where he did eventually lose it when John Cena won his first championship. And honestly, JBL is he kind of deserves some credit for the career of John Cena because he was the one that really got him over as a face in '05 because everyone hated JBL. Everybody loved John Cena. And JBL did a great job at making sure that John Cena went over in that match and looked like an absolute superstar. But yeah, I mean, where am I going with this? I kind of want to phrase the question. It's very unlikely. I know, and people are going to laugh and say don't be unrealistic. But what if JBL actually returned, even just for a short period? Because I don't know if you've seen the recent pictures of JBL, but he's been taking stem cells, which is what Rey Mysterio's taken recently. And Rey Mysterio's been moving like 2003 Rey Mysterio recently. He really has. I mean, Rey Mysterio's 50-year-old, I believe, and he can still go at an insane pace in that ring. So if JBL's stem cells can have even half the effect that Rey Mysterio's did, then maybe Bradshaw can be moving like he was 10 years ago. Hopefully. But all these clotheslines that he's been hitting in TNA, it's got me thinking, could he potentially have a match maybe against the TNA World Champion Joe Hendry? I believe that's a bit unlikely. But what is potentially a little bit more likely is an appearance at the Royal Rumble. I mean, why not? One night only? Number like 20 something, we just hear the music, he comes out in the limousine. I would absolutely love it. I mean, as a JBL fan, that would make me smile. Well, I was going to say more than anything else, but more than anything else, I want Wade Barrett on commentary, and I want him to come and join in the Royal Rumble, like in 2012 when Michael Cole, Booker T, and Jerry Lawler did. But you guys can tell by how much I'm smiling in this video how much I love JBL. I really do. Because growing up, he retired before I started watching wrestling, but I used to go back and watch old Rumbles, old Manias, old YouTube clips and everything, and I hated him, and I hated his commentary because he was a heel. But as I got older and understood the business a bit more, I realised how good he really was. I mean, like, seriously. Looking at, if you go on his Instagram page, I'll put a few pictures on here, actually, but he does look pretty good. I mean, his arms have looked bigger than they were when he was an active member of the roster, so maybe these stem cells have done him some good, I don't know. Like, seriously. But another thing about JBL, it wasn't just his in-ring work that was quality, it was his promos. And some of his segments are absolutely hilarious. You would not get away with him in 2025. I mean, he was going to the southern border and kicking, Mexicans across and saying he's like the border patrol and, just crazy, crazy stuff that you would not be able to do in this day and age. And I was going to say JBL would succeed as a heel in any era, but probably not these days because he goes too far. He wouldn't be allowed to do half the things he did in this day and age. I mean, he really wouldn't. Like I said, there has been countless other great heels. I mean, Andre the Giant. At the similar time of JBL, actually, there was Randy Orton and Edge that were also doing some crazy things that they may not be allowed to do now. Randy Orton, punt kicking Vince McMahon. Edge was sleeping with Lita in the middle of the ring on Monday Night Raw. Those guys were doing some crazy things too, and they are up there in the top heels of all time. But like I said, for JBL, someone so unexpected, he'd been wrestling for 10, 15 years, to all of a sudden change gimmick and win the world title and run with it for months and have an unbelievable reign. I mean, if you go back and watch his match against the Big Show in a steel cage, what a finish that was, and what a match, what a bloody match that was again. Something you just would not see these days. Both men covered in blood, just a good old-fashioned slobber knocker, as Jim Ross would say. But yeah, I mean, like I say, it's kind of just more of so a debate here, or just to pose the question. I don't really see a lot of people saying it. I mean, the inspiration for me making this video was the Chris Van Vliet podcast with The Undertaker. And Chris did ask The Undertaker who's the most underrated wrestler of all time. And Mark Calloway, also known as The Undertaker, was the in-ring name. He did say that he thinks JBL is the most underrated. And it got me thinking, because I've always said this man here, the Celtic Warrior Sheamus. I love Sheamus too. I think he's so underrated. But Undertaker's probably right. He's definitely the most underrated heel of all time. The Miz is up there too. He gets criminally underrated. But I'd like to hear what you guys think. Are you a fan of JBL? And for those of you that disagree, I honestly think most of you will be saying it because you're so traumatized to what he did to your favourite superstars when you were younger. I mean, he was bullying Rey Mysterio, Eddie Guerrero, John Cena, Booker T, Batista. Honestly, he was just bullying everybody, and it was brilliant to see. It really was. And he is hoping that JBL can make a return at the Royal Rumble. Hell, give me Wade Barrett as well. Those two seem to get along quite well on commentary, didn't they? Wade Barrett was kind of glazing JBL, a bit like I am here. Saying how good he was and how much of a fan he was. And I don't blame Wade Barrett. He was a kid meeting just like a kid meeting his favourite superstar. But yeah, like I said, do let me know in the comments. Am I glazing JBL too much here? Am I overhyping him? I don't think so. I think he is that good. But if you disagree, Let me know who's the best heel of all time. I'm just trying to imagine some of the comments here. I'm thinking Randy Orton's going to pop up, Edge. You can't say Roman Reigns, I don't think. I don't think he's on that level. I honestly can't think of many other people. Maybe Kurt Angle's up there, Andre the Giant, I don't know. Hulk Hogan is in the NWO. Probably not. Vince McMahon. Oh, that's a good call from me here. I'm kind of playing devil's advocate with my own point. Maybe Vince McMahon or Mr. McMahon's a better heel than JBL. But maybe that came so naturally because he actually was the character he was playing. Who knows? Who knows? It kind of blurred the lines, that whole thing, but crazy character nevertheless. And as was JBL, like I say, go back, watch some of his old stuff, especially that segment at the Mexican border. Mental stuff, especially with what's going on in the current landscape of US politics, I suppose. But yeah, do leave a comment, leave a like if you enjoyed. If you're a JBL fan, let me know. Let's assemble JBL fans over in the comments, and I will see you guys in the next one because I'm afraid I've got some bad news. This video is about to end. See ya.